Hello and welcome to the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner, and today I have a very important and special guest, Charles Evans, who is the County Commissioner at Large. Welcome, Charles. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime, anytime. Thank you for being my guest. Now, Charles, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Cumberland County, Fayetteville, is my home. I attended school here. I went into the military here. As a young guy, I was involved in politics. I would say around 12 to 13 years old. Started out working on my first campaign, which was for Sylvia X. Allen, who was running for judge at that time. And she was running, and she inspired me to become involved in politics because of her concern for the citizens in which she wished to have represented, and which she did represent in the DA's office. And after that, one thing just led to another. I served as a page here under Senator John Henley. Went from there to the congressional workshops, which the NAACP sponsored me to Washington, and that was an exciting time. It also was an informative time, learning more about government. And so that's pretty much me. That's pretty much me. I do love what I do. It's an honor to be able to serve citizens and earn their respect, and for them to know that they have someone that is basically and that's genuinely concerned about their well-being and also whatever they may be going through. And so I love my job.
That's wonderful, Charles. Now, Charles, I know you have this wonderful program that you and I have talked about on my other TV show as well as my radio show. And it's a program, Charles, in which you help prisoners obtain jobs. What's the name of that program?
That's Project Fresh Start.
Okay.
And we do our very best to assist individuals with housing, employment opportunities, as well. And I'm sure that you know that individuals that try to attend college, if they had drug charges or felonies, that they're unable to receive grants. And so we do our best to work and help those individuals as well. Recently, well, actually, this is the second time that we teamed up with Billy West, our district attorney, as well as Mayor Mitch Colvin and Representative Elmer Floyd, and also Laura Hardy, who's the president of Project Fresh Start, to have an expungement clinic. And it went over very well. Matter of fact, the first expungement clinic that we had, it produced over 100 and some odd people receiving expungements of their records. Wow. And you're talking about people that were happy and pleased. You saw a lot of tears, and all the work that was put into it, it was good to see the outcome for some of those individuals. Now, our DA, Billy West, I approached him about the idea, and he loved it. And he felt like that was his way of his team to give back to the community as well. Even though they do prosecution and things like that, but he also feels that people deserve a second chance. And so him and his staff jumped right in and helped us with this. Now this year we had our second expungement, and we had to delay the outcome of it for 2 more months because there's so many people that are eligible for it. We're looking at approximately 400 some odd people. And so there's background checks that need to be done to make sure that everything is right with the FBI, and we're waiting on some of those reports to come back. And so we look forward to continue to do it, and also by Cumberland County doing this. There are other counties that's also using this as an example. And so I'm real pleased with this. It's been an ongoing concern of mine for individuals that have had past criminal records. Matter of fact, when I first got on the Board of Commissioners, we did ban the box. I presented that to the Board of Commissioners, and it unanimously passed. Now, ban the box is about individuals that fill out applications, and on the applications they ask, have you ever been convicted of a crime? And so we removed that from the county application. So if you're applying for a job with the county, you do not have to answer that question. But also, if you're a finalist for that position, then it will come up. And so this will give people courage to fill out the application. Also, if they're interviewed, to give them time to think about what they want to say regarding their past and present it well. So we've been busy. I've been busy, and as I said earlier, it's something that I love, and I'm very grateful to have this opportunity.
Now, Charles, how did you come or arrive at this passion for helping prisoners?
Well, but you know what, Shanessa, the thing is, and I hope you don't mind me calling you Shanessa.
Oh, that's my name.
I have made some missteps in my life, and I'm a recovering addict, and I must add that I am 16 years clean.
Yes.
And
congratulations.
Well, thank you. And I've experienced a lot of trouble, or a lot of instances where I found myself in positions that I should not have been in because of my substance abuse. And at the time when I was convicted of embezzlement and also cocaine possession, I received felonies.
Okay.
And that was in an effort to keep from having time in jail. And what had happened was, after receiving those felonies and listening to others, and also seeing what was happening to me, the inability to get a job, the inability to do a number of things because of my felony, it was something that needed to be addressed for those individuals that are like me. Because one thing about it, those persons should never give up hope. As long as there's a God and there's a will for you to do, anything is possible. And so I want to encourage those individuals that are like me, please don't ever give up on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You just continue to be prayerful and do the things that you need to do to get where you need to get.
Amen. Now, Charles, let's talk a little bit about homelessness, and let's talk about how we have many people in Fayetteville. Lately, Charles, it doesn't matter where I go, someone's going to walk up to me and ask for a quarter, $1, 50 cents. Every stoplight, there seems to be someone with a sign. I mean, let's talk a little bit about that, because it seems to be increasing instead of decreasing.
Well, you know, some of the instances that we just talked about, individuals with records and having a hard time to get housing or to find employment, and they may stumble on some other issues that prevent them from doing what they need to do to be that productive member of our community that we want them to be. And it's sad, but they need help as well. And yes, it may appear that it is increasing. In fact, it probably is increasing, but there's just a hardship for those persons. And to be real honest with you, we have to do what we can to help them. I know you can't help everybody, but that's, I believe, in my hearts of hearts, that's what we're supposed to do as people first. And especially when God allows you the opportunity to serve in a capacity where you can help others, then that's what I believe you should do. And so we've been talking about having a one-stop center for homelessness for individuals that are struggling. And it hadn't materialized yet. But my wish and my prayer is that one day that we will make that happen so that they can go to one central location and find out about employment opportunities, find out about housing, find out about anything that they need to find out to make their lives much better. And that's an issue that's also near and dear to my heart. I remember in Washington, when I was living there, I was homeless for a while. And, you know, I've experienced all of this. And by the grace of God, it didn't last that long, but I've experienced it. And until you walk in somebody else's shoes, you don't know what they're going through. And going through the experiences that I went through, I see how difficult it is for individuals like me. And so that's one of the reasons why I decided to step out with individuals that's convicted of felonies and those individuals that are homeless. We got to show some care, concern, and compassion for those people.
So you talked about the one-stop center. What are some other things that you feel that need to happen, Charles?
I'm sorry.
What other things do you think? Of course, you talked about your one-stop shop to help them as well. What are some other things that the community may need to do as well?
Well, you don't want to ask me that, but it's there are some individuals that feel that you shouldn't use taxpayers' dollars in order to help those individuals that are going through, and I think just the opposite. I know there's a number of things that we would like to see done throughout Cumberland County and the city of Fayetteville, but paramount is those individuals that we work for, the citizens of this county and the citizens of this city. So whatever we can do to make someone that is not as fortunate as others' life better, we need to be on it. We need to be doing it. Naturally, there are some other things that we will be doing. There's discussion of a performing arts center. There's discussion of a Civil War museum. And those things are going to go on because you have the people with the mindset that want to see that happen. But one thing that I do hope is that one day that people will have the mindset of, okay, let's go ahead and get the job done for these individuals that are struggling.
Okay. Voting, something that's very, very important. Every election, I remember a time that, we were not allowed to vote, okay? African Americans were not allowed to vote. Now we're allowed to vote, but everyone won't vote. So let's talk about voting.
It's funny because we had that conversation, a person and I had this conversation about voting and the reasons people do not vote. And we summed it up that the reasons individuals don't vote is because of the people that we vote for. Elected officials will guarantee or promise you the world, but it never materializes. And this is from what I'm hearing from residents in the community. And so in order for them to believe that it's worth their time to vote, we as elected officials need to do our job. And that's what we're elected for. And the citizens got to know that you are working for their betterment. I don't care what the issue may be, from sewage, from drain sewage, and from recreation to trash to abandoned housing to performing arts center, whatever the case may be, they need to know that that you're working for the betterment of those citizens. And so we have to do better. We have to do better. And I think that that would encourage people to go out and vote more because they know they have somebody on their side. Now, I'm very pleased at the fact that we're here on the campus of Fayetteville State. As you mentioned, we have gone through regarding voting. At one time we couldn't vote. You're absolutely right. And we just discussed a reason to why some people aren't voting now. And our young people are looking at us. They need to know the struggles that we endured trying to vote, with dolls being put on you, hoses being put on you, and having to take a test to prove that you're capable of voting. And they see us, and so they're going to try to emulate us. And what we as adults need to do is to stress the importance of voting. Yeah, the person that you voted for may not have won, but you had a say in that. You had a say in that. Whether you voted for that person or not, it's always good to exercise your right to vote. I'm also of the mindset, if you don't vote, then I don't want to hear you complaining.
Exactly. And on that note, Charles Evans, audience, thank you so much for listening to part 1 of the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner.
Familiar stranger, stranger, wait, hold up, don't run, I don't bite. Familiar stranger,